Here, today's session is about feminist climate justice. How the climate crisis adversely impacts the women's livelihoods. Before we proceed to this session, and I invite my esteemed guests here on the stage, I would like to invite all of you to consider some of the basic things and some of the very concerned things about this very topic. Now we are on a very critical juncture of a history. First of all, I will invite Dr. Atikur Rahman, and please join me in welcoming in Dr. Atikur Rahman. Dr. Atikur Rahman is an environmental scientist. So we have our next panelist, Pride of Pakistan, and especially Pakistani academic landscape. A renowned archaeologist with his PhD from the University of Leicester, UK, Professor Muhammad Zahid, we just welcome you. Join us and to honor us with your participation here in this session. Currently, he is a Dean of Division of Arts and Social Sciences, and he has held the adjunct professorship at Griffith University, Australia. Because Dr. Hake has been doing and serving for the long time. It is a pleasure to welcome Dr. Serena, a distinguished scholar, author, educator, with a postdoc fellow from the University of Buffalo, USA, and teaching experience at esteemed institutions. And we are happy that all of those perspectives and those areas of expertise we will bring to the table here for this session. I'm very thankful for the LLF organizers to give us this chance and for bringing us together here. Environmental problems. So what are some of the most pressing environmental concerns that Pakistan is facing now? So I invite you to present here if you have some slides or something to share with us.
I present the case of Japan. This is the case of Minamata. So Minamata is a very beautiful town of Kumamoto Prefecture in Japan. So there was an industry that's name was Chiso Chemical Industry.
Yes.
So Chiso Chemical was producing various kind of paints and chemicals and medicines, and during the industry process they discharge mercury. So methyl mercury, organic methyl mercury. So when they discharge heavy amount of mercury, it was thrown to the river because sea. So the industry's location was on the shore of the sea. So it was very easy to dump the chemical waste to the sea, because in 1908 the first case of victims of Minamata appeared. Their cats, they started dancing. The cats were dancing and people were surprised why our cats are dancing. So they observed, then they said, they think within 2-3, cat have 5 to 8 years, I think, lifespan. So then they observed that the cats are not only dancing but doing break dance. They were very speeds, they were dancing very quick and jumping, and then they thought that there is something wrong. So
just invite Dr. Serena Hake to talk on this very critical and very crucial issue of climate justice in the feminist climate case. I will simply start with this very simple question to Dr. Serena, that what is the feminist climate justice standpoint? This is a very simple question from where, just to begin with, please.
Assalamu alaikum, good morning. So I'll begin my talk with a little anecdote which I feel sums up the dynamics of the world today. I was in Boston and I met an American writer, Andre Dupas III, and he said, when he was sitting on the stage, and I quote, he said, "I am the most privileged person on this planet. I'm a man, I'm white, and I'm American." And all doors open for me. Not even woman, white American, man, white American. He wasn't, of course, boasting about it. This is a reality he had experienced. Now, what do you do when you have a north which is so privileged and you have a south where the sweat is even dry? The land is so dry and dehydrated that even the sweat is dry. And if it's not dehydrated, it's inundated. So how do you make this connection between the north and the south? So what I could do, I gave him my book, he gave me his book. I'd written about the Cholistan desert. My husband belongs to Bahawalpur, so I had visited there many times. I'd spoken about the 2010 floods which chased us when we were coming from Sindh. So I could only give him the word that came to me. Uzma Aslam Khan can be read, Ramchand Pakistani can be seen, Imran Rifat can be read, Tawfiq Rafat can be read. So all I say is read us to know us. And for that, we have to first figure out that who is affected by this. Are we affected equally? There's no such thing as equality. As I began my talk, I said, some are more privileged than others. There's no such thing as equality. So I'd like to see if we are equally affected. For that, we have to first find out the connections North has with South. And when I say North, the Northern Hemisphere has all the industrial countries. So let's see if equality really works here. Yes, feminism is an important aspect of our lives because we live on this planet Earth. Woman and nature are completely connected. We don't have, it's the most obvious thing ever. Because what? Nurturing nature. Estrogen we produce is a nurturing hormone. Try and mess up with a woman, abuse the woman, there will be anger. The same is happening with the earth. Earth is angry, Mother Earth is angry. We need to find who is doing this. Is the privilege a choice for the inundated, the displaced? This is Andre Dubus, and I'm speaking to the most privileged person on earth here. So, coming back to that, we can come and talk about numbers here, statistics here. 650,000 women were affected by the floods here. However, we can also then humanize them with the word of the writers or with the word of literature, art, and that is what is going to connect us. Whether it's of a woman or Mother Earth, what will happen? Now when I play, even a child knows, you plant a tree, it's good. If you don't plant a tree, you cut a tree, what happens? But here, although we place verses here, I want to talk beyond verses. We can collaborate. Production and reproduction can collaborate. And for that, again, we have to understand that I don't believe in binaries and oppositions because I feel the more we talk about oppositions, male, female, we are dividing ourselves. So there again, the dialogue comes in. How do we start the dialogue? By not seeing binaries, by seeing that there is a possibility between reproduction and production. If you have black on one side and white on one side, move black just a little bit. What happens to it? It becomes a little more gray, right? If you move white just a little bit towards the black, it becomes a little blacker. So there's an element of white in black, there's an element of black in white. Day and night. 11 a.m. we're that much closer to night. 4 a.m. we're that much closer to day. So there's an element of night and day, there's an element of day and night. There's an element of masculine consciousness in me, there's an element of feminine consciousness in me. This is where we connect, masculine consciousness and feminine consciousness, which is important because we have to maintain a balance. This is an art painting that I bought immediately because look at the face of the woman here. In the barest of belongings, she's satisfied. This is also important because in 2015 I was conversing with a robot, and where are we here today? I have to incorporate the robot in my frame of reference also. While the robot is cleaning the floors, our women are just picking up water from different places. All is not lost. Western woman, fragmented, woman from the south, resilient, because she can do it. Let it happen. She can make it happen. Let it happen. We can do it. You can do it. I'll end it with Muhammad Ali's quote: "The deer doesn't cross the road. The forest has been crossed by the road." So let's go.
That's a great one. And we really have put the case so argumentatively on the table, and we are thankful to you. And now this is really the, as it was about our session, how feminist climate justice can offer a powerful framework for addressing these issues. She really has spoken a very brief on that. We are thankful to you, Dr. Sarina, on this. When we talk about the patriarchal system and the other social patterns that have been playing some crucial roles to impact our system here, as Dr. Sarina as well said, that after being free from the colonizer, we have adapted the patriarchal system by them, and we are just doing the same in the form of power structure. But she really put the emphasis on the need of dialogue. So I just keep wondering sometime when I think on these things that we do have some civilizational roots, and we are told that the Indus Valley civilization, so many other areas where we have been living centuries and many centuries ago, there were some very developed and very groomed culture. So we do have a very experts here, Dr. Zahid, today, and I want some questions just to know what was the case before this very scenario do have now currently in here. If we just delve deep into the past and go to that very era, if Dr. Zahid helps us to do that, can we take us through time and be someone that travel was to see us that what was there in the past in our area. And especially I'm concerned about the question that did they develop the system without compromising the natural balance? This is my question actually. The natural balance is very important thing to me, and we are talking about it.
Thank you very much. I am an archaeologist and I am a student of time, so I study things in their duration, their existence, and I study them through their material evidence usually. So taking from Dr. Sarina's wonderful presentation, Madam, this concept of patriarchy is very new. It does not exist. It does not exist in our archaeological record or historical records, and that there is no evidence that we can go to which can suggest that we were eternally patriarchal. In fact, the evidence are almost to the contrary. So we are either matriarchal, we were either matriarchal, or we were matrilineal. Almost, there is existed an equilibrium between them. So, and I can say this with a lot of surety because we have no evidence of patriarchal society within the Indus civilization, which was, by the way, one of the largest civilizations that the humankind has come up within the Bronze Age, and it spread. It was the largest spread civilization of the ancient world, and that we were there without any violence, without any institution of violence. So we have no evidence of any militarized force within the Indus civilization. And we were still prosperous. The women and men, per se, they were equal. And we were still, enjoying the lives of that. Climate and the justice of the climate is also not a new, in fact, there are roots to it. And that the things that we are suffering due to the Industrial Revolution, humanity has also suffered that. And it has not always been produced by the human themselves, but nature itself. So there were climatic episodes. We have been blessed with different climatic, say for example, the Holocene magnanimous which is the last 9,000 years. During this last 9,000 years, we have achieved a lot of, in fact, all the civilizational benefits that we enjoy as a developed society, whether in the east, in the north or the south, can be traced to the last 9,000 years. And within these last 9,000 years, the environment was very conducive to our developing, and that we are in the last almost in the last phases of the interglacial that we exist in, which is called the Holocene era. And it is through these industrial revolutions that we are delaying the glaciation period. So humans, as a species, we evolved and developed within these episodic periods of climatic episodic periods of glaciation, interglaciation, where the major part of the earth was under snow or under glaciers, and then there were episodes of raining for thousands of years. In fact, the glaciation existed much longer than the interglaciation where we thrived. So this 9,000 years, before this there were about 90,000 years of glaciation that we suffered, that the human existed.
Pattern of already engineered pattern of the weathers and climate, and we are now somehow who are playing role in it. I mean, this is it's looking like that. This is
It's not like that. I think we are responsible for the modern climate crisis. As a species, we are responsible for the current crisis. But in the past, climatic changes did affect the humans. So, for example, the fall of the Indus civilization is linked with the climatic changes, with the change of the river course of the Indus. It affected the larger cities, it affected the trade, it affected the agriculture, and then the dried up.
Yes.
Yeah.
We cannot we are okay that we don't have done something wrong with that. We are actually somehow the primary drivers to make it happen that way.
Let me rephrase it, okay?
Yes.
So I think we have also evidence of, although the evidence are sketchy, we have not a lot of data to support it, and this idea was somehow floated some time ago. So if you consider, for example, the Indus civilization, the largest cities, the cities of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, they were built on, all the structure were constructed of the burnt bricks, okay? And these burnt bricks requires a lot of deforestation, and this deforestation has affected the climate, and this climate change brought the downfall of the Indus civilization. One of the reasons that is.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Okay.
This is really very informative for us to go deep into the past and to have the archaeological revelation as well on the table. Thank you so much. You could say that we have very collective expertise of the experts here from the different, they span from environmental sciences, education, literature, and so forth as the archaeology. Now, I just, before I do conclude it, I just open the room for the question and answer session. Everyone is welcome if to engage with the communication. Yes, please. But I just request to be concise and relevant to the topic, just to make it, well on time.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Assalamu alaikum. I am a student from Lahore Grammar School Defense, and my question is, as students, how can we take local efforts in order to help reduce the effects of climate change on women? Is there any specific NGOs that us students can volunteer for specifically this?
Indeed, Dr. Serena, you will take it up.
Yes, it's a very valid question. I'm so glad that we have such a young crowd here. Firstly, with respect to climate change, I'm teaching at CANAID, and there it was announced that we are going plastic free. So we are now, I'm so glad that we have glass bottles here. So one thing, as institutions, we can go plastic free, firstly, to stop this industrial waste that we are going through. And most importantly, when we say we go plastic free, we also have to plant trees, right? So Pakistan at 1947 was given to us with 33% forest cover. We have barely 3% left. So we need to plant those trees, right? With respect to NGOs, yes, there is so much work. Like I said, the Mughal Mera project, it was an NGO and that helped, it was going extinct, the trees. So the ladies and the women in Thar district were engaged and they planted these trees and they helped with the gum resin production for the cosmetics. So we can find such NGOs. UNESCO is working as well. We also have this Plan B Eco. We can find such NGOs to help us, and at school level, again, first and foremost, the awareness that this is happening. So we can read up, like I said, art and literature is very important. We can read up about us, and then what we can do in, practically is we can join certain NGOs for internships.
Yes,
Thank
this
you.
is a very good idea to initiate internship in different institutions, and you yourself can initiate some NGO for that very purpose. Just go for that. Thank you. The next question, someone said yes, that's on the upper floor.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm a student in Lahore Grammar School Defense.
Okay.
My question is based upon the toxic substances in the environment. First of all, if we have such adverse impacts of such substances, why aren't they fully banned in the country? Second of all, if they are not banned and products do contain them, why don't they have harmful labels? Third of all, what can we do as a just community to solve such impacts and to reduce their impacts as well?
This is, a very good question, and this is a call for some involving and taking some of the policymakers on the board for that. Anyway, Dr. Atik, if you just respond to this question, this is a very brilliant question.
So, if we see our history, we have the first law for environment in 1997. So, after 1947, the PIPA, Pakistan Environmental Protection Act, was approved in 1997 by the caretaker Prime Minister Miraj Khalid sir. So we can see from 47 to 97. So how many years already passed? And then after approval of EPA or EPA, environmental protection departments were established in Pakistan. It took time to establish the departments, and the implementation is really a serious issue, because when there is no law, that means there is lawlessness, there is no check and balance, and the problem is that a very serious problem is a behavior problem actually, and we don't think.
Yes, Dr. Thank you so much for your question, and this was some answer. This is about the policy making, and we need to work on that. I wish to have the questions by all of you, but now we have run the time and this is just over. I'm sorry for that. In the end, I will just, conclude all of our session, because the next session is going to be start here. The future of humanity is uncertain, we know that. But one thing is clear, we will not survive unless we learn to live with this planet. Thank you so much.